During World War II, the Nazis' most classified project was known as Die Glock, the bell. Secret documents found years later reveal that the bell was a new kind of exotic energy technology that could affect time and defy gravity. In 1939, the Nazis set up a secret base in Antarctica known as New Schwabia. Starting in 1945, Operation Paperclip secretly brought hundreds of Nazi scientists into America, where they were hired by the military-industrial complex. In 1946, Admiral Richard Byrd led a military expedition known as Operation High Jump to seek out Nazi base New Schwabia and other Antarctica bases. On his way back to the U.S., Admiral Byrd told Chilean newspaper El Mercurio that in the event of a new war, the U.S. would be facing military craft that can fly from one pole to the other with incredible speed. In 1959, a dozen nations signed the Antarctic Treaty, making it illegal for anyone to travel south of the 60th parallel without government permission. Since then, curious videos have circulated that show what appear to be Nazi UFOs. And just last Monday, Dr. Stephen Greer introduced Antarctica whistleblower Eric Hecker.
In 2010, I was selected to go down to the South Pole Station in Antarctica for an entire year by Raytheon Polar Services as an employee of a third-party contractor for the National Science Foundation. I function in a dual-role capacity as a tradesman and a firefighter. My responsibilities required me to be more informed than most of my crew and offered me complete access to the facilities. What I learned from this unique experience needs to be shared with the entire world. The technology at the South Pole Station certainly can do what it is presented as its primary purposes, and unfortunately, much more. The Ice Cube Neutrino Detector is presented as a passive listening device for the purposes of the science as presented, but I'm going to skip right through the chase, folks. I have provided documentation that proves that the 5,160, what they call DOMs, that are embedded in the ice can actually transmit at 2,047 volts each. That gives us a long list of things to consider. It is effectively a multifaceted directed energy weapons platform that I will list rapidly a few things that it can do. Vehicle detection. We're learning that these off-world craft, on-world craft, ours or other nations, are also emitting neutrinos. So this makes the South Pole Station effectively an air traffic control station for this new level of equipment that nobody's discussing. In addition to the ability to detect neutrinos and the exotic vehicles, I have provided documentation that shows that this is also a system for faster than light communications. In the past, Gary McKinnon has hacked NASA, found the off-world fleet, the list of captains, and it's apparent that if we have faster than light vehicles moving throughout the system, we're going to need faster than light communications. This is that facility. Unfortunately, I have other bad news. The season that I was there, 2010 to 2011, we converted from construction to operations and maintenance in both the elevated station and the detector array. Unfortunately, when they first fired it up, that was when we had the earthquakes in Christchurch, New Zealand. There was 2 incidental shots before they were able to target it correctly. This is an earthquake generating device as well. This is the weapons of war that we have to deal with now and what Raytheon's hiding. There's an ELF system at the South Pole Station that when I arrived, I was told it was off, dismantled, and completely defunct. In my work, I will rapidly just tell you, I had to figure out the circuitry for certain other repairs, and I found that this system is in fact completely energized, up and running, and being utilized with the other systems for nefarious purposes as well. The Atmospheric Research Observatory is in what we call the clean air sector. I witnessed myself a very powerful green laser shooting out of the top of this facility into the cosmos. This, I believe, is a secondary form of long-range communications and or a defense system. A question of power comes into play for all of these facilities that are present. I assure you, I knew what was going on, I knew the load demands of the facility, and all of these new items exceed the demand for the systems that I was presented. I am doing due diligence and research. I believe there is either a secondary power supply there that is either nuclear, that was there prior to the start of the Antarctic Treaty, which prohibits such things, and or that there is some sort of exotic power supply system there that just is not in the verbiage of the treaty, so it negates the responsibility to the parties involved.
A close encounter spotted by a U.S. Air Force pilot off the coast of Jacksonville, Florida.
There's a new insider who's just come forward, and he's been saying that he was told that the Tic Tac UFOs were these hybrid craft that were capable of traveling through the ocean at 500 miles an hour and in the air at 24,000 miles an hour, and escaping Earth's velocity if they needed to. And that these were craft that were actually being made for the US Air Force. So these were Air Force Secret Space Program vehicles being produced at this secretive facility in Palmdale, California called Plant 42, which has long been known to be a major production site for highly classified craft that the Air Force has been having various contractors work on and assemble for them. Lockheed Martin's Skunk Works actually relocated from Burbank, California to this facility, Plant 42, up in Palmdale. So Plant 42 is where you actually have these Tic Tac craft actually being produced for the US Air Force.
That was one of the most amazing things to us, or at least to me, was that these objects would be out there all day, and the speeds that they're exhibiting, as well as the flight characteristics. There's no platform or really an energy source that I'm aware of that could allow something to stay in the air as long as these objects were.
Everybody's asking the biggest question in the world. Are we alone?
That is strange. That is really weird.
Do we really need the government to tell us?
That's, I've never seen that. That's all right now. You got it.
For thousands of years, and to present day, there's evidence of extraterrestrial craft that we don't know of.
Looks like 30 seconds ago.
There's 71 Papa Golf negative.
A UFO. Yeah. It's murdered tonight.
They're not only Navy pilots that witness the phenomenon. Regular people, including NASA themselves, capture anomalies that can't be explained. Through the eyewitness testimony and video evidence to back it up, it proves that there's something bizarre happening in the skies.
Sober military pilots saying something that we can't explain is happening.
That is correct. You're talking about individuals who have very high security clearances. They are trained observers.
NASA themselves capture things in space with the ISS that they still can't explain to this day.
Zero up towards about 12,000 feet and then accelerate in less than 2 seconds and disappear is something I had never seen in my life.
There is a difference between UFO technology from another world and reverse engineered technology that a government faction uses to keep secrets from the military, such as the Navy. The whole point of the government military system is to hold a secret, as they did with the stealth bomber for 40 years. Is this the new technology that they're about to reveal to the public?
The people who would be, say, briefing the president, or the Senator Marco Rubio, who made the comment, we don't know what these are. Well, we do want to know what they are. But the people who are surrounding that level of our politicians and government are not told the full story. And that's why our group is trying to correct that. We're trying to create a different dynamic and provide accurate information and also analysis. Why is it secret? Who's keeping it secret? Where is it kept secret?
The question becomes, who is piloting these secret spacecraft? Could they be aliens from another world? Or could they be humans piloting these exotic craft?
We must be forward-looking in our research and development to anticipate and achieve the unimagined weapons of the future.
showcases technology that we've had 2 decades ago. Notice the characteristics of this flying machine. It can move left to right. It could turn on a dime. Imagine the capabilities in today's world. The technology in this declassified video has yet to be implemented to the world, or has it? Could this be what the Navy pilots are witnessing?